classes, they learn English and so on, but they can't work. Children can study in public schools, which are free in the US. If you want to know about San Francisco, in San Francisco, public schools are awful. So if you're looking for an employer in the US and you have kids, please do check the public schools, because it's very important where your kid studies and learns. I have my own, so I'm a little bit crazy now. I know.
Children can become more uneducated in that space.
Of course they can. That's why check before you will find your employer.
Tell me about startup.
Start in what sense? Like, give me the specifics. Give me the details.
No, to move to USA with this visa.
Like with requirements.
Yeah, isn't there some e-visa? I remember my boss had that
E-visa.
one when she went over. That was entrepreneurial visa of some sort.
It's if you're talking about E2 visa, that's a treaty investor visa. Treaty investor. Again, there are certain limitations as always. So, you can apply for this E2 visa treaty investor if if you're a citizen of the country which has a trade agreement with the US. For instance, Ukraine has a trade agreement with the US. Russia doesn't. So you can invest in a certain amount of money which is not specified in any statute. So between the attorneys, we usually consider 75,000 a good amount.
Okay.
If the company is old. Does anybody or all probably know what is K?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So 75K. In the old company, like established company, right? And 100K, 125, if it's a new company, if it's a startup. So
That has to be invested in the American entity then. It's just
it can be a newly registered entity, or it can be an old entity, but it has to be in the US, to be registered in the US. For startups, there is also one other option. One other option would be L1 visa. L1 visa allows L1A. Let's talk about L1A first. So A, and there are two types. So L1A allows managers and executives of the Ukrainian company to transfer again managers and directors to the US company. So the connection, it doesn't matter where is the parent company and where is the affiliate, or who is the parent or affiliate. So affiliate can be located in the US and the parent company could be in Ukraine. But what matters is for instance, the parent company needs to own 51% of the affiliate or subsidiary. So if the parent company owns 51% of the affiliate company, then the manager or executive from the parent company can be transferred to the affiliate, which in our pattern is located in USA. So I really like this visa. Why? Because with this visa, the family, the wife can work, the kids as well can study. The Any questions?
No, continue.
I have a question. Are any large sum investments involved, or you just can?
Or what type of company you should start to
Or how
have
do you-
an affiliate in US?
Yeah.
What type of company?
Yeah, just
So
answer
it doesn't.
that
It's
is the
actually like the business itself doesn't matter. So it shouldn't be the same type of business. For instance, the parent company can sell furniture, and the affiliate can deal with real estate. So
Mhm.
basically, buy and sell real estate. It actually was in with one of my clients, and the affiliate could be a startup, so newly developed company. But in this situation, if the affiliate is a startup, then the visa is given for 1 year first. It's like condition. 1 year. The startup could be not profitable, but it can not make any money within first year. But it should work at least somehow. It should have office, and it should have US employees, at least 5. Again, there is no like legal requirement, but it's just from the practice of the attorneys. So first you're given a visa for 1 year, and then
Could
you
you
can.
answer the question that you asked about the amount, yeah?
Yeah, about the monetary side of
sorry.
the question. Are any investments involved?
Like yes and no. If you're, for instance, if you're buying 51% of the company, then yes, the investment kind of is involved because you're buying, right? The 51% of the company.
Plus you have to pay the 5 employees, yes?
Yes, but it's kind of not like an investment, but yes, you money is involved.
It will be checked.
It will be checked for sure.
That's the question.
And right now, the immigration services, they're called U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. They're really strict. They're checking everything, and because the fraud rate has increased, so they are calling and checking. Also, if you start a new company, of course, you will spend money for registration, for set up the office, and so on and so forth. Also, so I was talking about L1A. This is another type of visa, the same visa, L1, but L1B. L1B can be used usually by a multinational company which has, for instance, the office in Ukraine. Sorry, office in Ukraine. And then office in the US. An employee in Ukraine has some specific knowledge about the company's product, and the company needs to transfer this employee to the US.
But not for constant stay.
Not for a constant stay, but
For a
this
period of time. For a period of time.
for a
for
period of
example,
time, yes.
6 months or for 3 years to use his knowledge.
So actually this visa is for 3 years. For L1A, the employer can, for managers and for executives, the employer can apply for the green card later. For this one, no. And for E2, we were talking about treaty investors. for E2. E2. You cannot apply for green card with this type of visa. The intent is not dual. So for H1B, the intent is dual. You can be in the US and not desire to want there to live there permanently, or you want to stay. Your intent is dual. But for this type of visa, E2, you have to come back to Ukraine. I think that's a disadvantage of this visa.
Or find another startup to
Or,
apply once more.
of course, or find another startup, or find another employer, apply for H1B. If you're on E2 status, so legally in the US, then you can change your status inside the country.
At E2, also you have that visa as long as your business is going well, basically.
Yes, and you have basically no deadlines. It's a visa forever, I call it. No restrictions as to the timing. Actually, I told you everything I wanted really shortly, so if you have questions.
I have one more question.
Sure.
Does green card makes you a full US citizen? Or you have still limitations, you cannot vote, for example?
You cannot vote, but yeah, actually I will be, so I just, in last February I became a citizen, and I'm very happy because these elections, it's the first time I will be voting. I don't know for whom to
Choose
vote,
wisely.
but
Make no mistake.
you know, from two evils.
Trump.
But one of them will kill your business, the other won't.
That's true.
Follow the
That's
money.
funny. That's really funny. So, other limitations, let me think. There are certain there are certain benefits that you cannot get while having a green card. For instance, you cannot get actual money. You can apply for, if you're a low income, and I should say that if you're a low income in the US, government will help you. Government will help you with the kinder or daycares, you know, like sadik, for your children. Government will help you with food. Government will help you with financial aid. But for green card holders, financial aid is not allowed. But health insurance, free, food stamps are allowed, so you can apply. And you can apply for low housing, low
Can you
income
get a
housing.
loan while being on a green card?
Can-
A loan
A loan.
to borrow money?
Oh, a loan, of course. Of course, you can apply for a loan. It's not. I'm a little bit familiar, but it's not an area of my competency. But I can tell you that there are a lot of requirements for obtaining a loan in the US. I did it twice. You have to have a certain amount of earnings. You have to give a lot of documents, basically bank documents, documents proving that you have some property, that you are financially stable, and so on and so forth.
And what about
Your
the
liver
mortgage?
is working.
Loan
You
and
can
mortgage,
say.
so for me it's kind of the same. So I was actually telling about the mortgage. If you mean the loan for a car, then it's easier to obtain
And
than
a loan for a business.
loan for a business. Okay, never dealt with it, but I think that the requirements are kind of the same. You need to prove the same ability to repay the loan.
That you have a working business, it has a certain income.
But then it's not you that's loaning money, then it's a company that's loaning money, so that's a different thing.
but there are different types of businesses. Corporation is different than LLC. If you're a one-person LLC, then you will have to prove your income. If it's a corporation, you will have to prove the corporation's income. Other questions? Yes?
If I win green card, can I sell it?
Unfortunately, you won't be able to sell it. You can use it yourself. Also, a good point that just came to my mind. If you have a family of two, for instance, a
Can I sell
husband
to
and...
them?
Excuse me?
Can I sell to them?
We have a businessman here, right?
Unfortunately not.
You
But
too.
yeah, but if there is a husband and wife, you can you can file separate applications.
And like double chance.
Yeah, exactly.
And then sell.
And then you will sell it.
Okay, what's great?
I think we have increased the amount of those who will apply this year.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy that you will play, and I wish you luck and success. And I hope I was able to answer all the questions that you had, guys.
Thank you.